My students often ask me why they need to read in English. It often comes from a place of frustration or confusion. They wonder why, if they attend classes, do their homework, and watch movies in English, they still need to spend time reading books. Many of them think that reading is unnecessary, outdated, or just too difficult to bother with. But what if I told you that reading is, in fact, the single most effective way to improve your English skills? Not just in one area, but in almost every aspect of the language. In this video, I'm going to explain why reading is so crucial for learning English, how it can benefit you far more than you might think, and why you should start incorporating it into your learning routine. Why reading is important. Now, why is reading important? First, let's talk about why reading is essential in today's world, not just for learning English, but for improving your overall language skills. In 2006, only 1 out of every 100 people in the world went to university, but fast forward to today, and that number has jumped to 7 out of 100. The job market has become more competitive than ever, and jobs in almost every industry now require better reading and writing skills than they did 100 years ago. Whether you're an office worker, a mechanic, or an engineer, being able to read well is a critical skill in this modern digital age. Much of our communication is text-based: emails, reports, research papers, instructions, even social media. Reading isn't just about understanding written words. It helps you think critically, process information more effectively, and respond more thoughtfully. So, when you ask, "Should I read in English?" it's because your reading skills directly affect how you perform in almost every area of life. How reading can transform your English skills. Now you might be thinking, I just want to improve my English. Why does reading matter so much? Well, the truth is that reading is the most powerful tool for learning any language. It goes beyond what traditional classes can offer. And here's why. 1. Improving vocabulary. One of the most obvious benefits of reading is that it significantly improves your vocabulary. Every time you read a new book, article, or even a short story, you encounter words you may not know. By seeing these words in context, you can often figure out their meaning without even needing a dictionary. The more you read, the more new words you learn, and the larger your vocabulary grows. 2. Better grammar. While many students focus heavily on learning grammar rules in class, reading allows you to see those rules in action. By reading natural sentences and paragraphs, you subconsciously absorb grammar patterns, structures, and usage. You begin to see how native speakers naturally form sentences and how different tenses, moods, and voices are used in everyday contexts. Over time, you stop thinking about the rules and start using correct grammar instinctively. 3. Fluency in writing. Reading also helps improve your writing skills. As you read, you're exposed to various writing styles, sentence structures, and ways of expressing ideas. You start to mimic these styles in your own writing, and before long, your ability to write coherently and effectively in English improves. 4. Speaking and listening skills. While reading directly impacts your writing and grammar, it also indirectly benefits your speaking and listening skills. With a broader vocabulary, you'll understand more of what you hear, whether it's in conversations, movies, or podcasts. And the more words you know, the easier it becomes to express yourself in spoken English. 5. Confidence. Finally, one of the most underrated benefits of reading in English is the confidence it gives you. When you successfully read and understand a book, you gain a sense of accomplishment. It's proof that you're capable of using the language effectively. This confidence then carries over into your speaking, writing, and listening, motivating you to keep learning and improving. Reading for pleasure, the key to success. Now that we've established how important reading is, let's talk about what kind of reading will benefit you the most. You might have memories of reading boring textbooks in school or being forced to analyze classic novels you had no interest in. That's not what we're talking about here. The key to improving your English through reading is to read for pleasure. Reading for pleasure means choosing books, stories, or articles that you enjoy and want to read. You're not reading because a teacher assigned you something or because you feel like you should. You're reading because you're genuinely interested in the content. When you do this, learning becomes fun, and you'll find yourself improving without even realizing it. But you might be thinking, okay, that sounds great. But will I really improve my English if I just read for fun? Absolutely. In fact, research supports this idea. Let me share a couple of fascinating studies with you. The power of free reading, real-world studies. In 1965, an experiment was conducted in reform schools for boys in the United States. These boys had been involved in various crimes, including theft, and were considered troubled youth. As part of the experiment, the boys were given free books, fun books like James Bond novels. They weren't forced to read them. The boys could do whatever they wanted with the books, including ignoring them entirely. But what happened was remarkable. The boys chose to read the books. In fact, some boys were reading a book every 2 days. After 2 years, the students who had access to the free books showed significant improvements in their reading and writing skills. And what's more, they enjoyed school much more than before. Meanwhile, the boys who weren't given books didn't improve. In fact, some of them got worse. This isn't just a phenomenon for native English speakers. Another study was conducted in the Fiji Islands, where students learning English as a second language were divided into 3 groups. One group learned using traditional grammar exercises. The second group spent their time reading silently, while the third group had their teacher read to them. After a year, the students in the reading groups had far better English skills than those who followed the traditional method. This study was repeated in Singapore, and the results were even more impressive. Students who spent time reading in silence outperformed those who only focused on grammar classes, even in grammar tests. How to start reading in English without getting overwhelmed. At this point, you might be convinced of the benefits of reading, but maybe you're still feeling intimidated. You might be thinking, whenever I try to read in English, it's too hard. I have to look up every other word in the dictionary, and it just feels impossible. That's a common problem for learners, and that's why I created my book, a collection of fun, easy-to-read stories designed to help you fall in love with reading. The stories in the book gradually increase in difficulty, starting with very simple narratives and working their way up to more challenging content. This allows you to feel a sense of progression and accomplishment as you go along. What's great about this approach is that you're not just practicing English, you're also enjoying yourself. The stories are designed to be engaging and interesting, so you won't get bored or frustrated. And because they're written specifically for language learners, they'll help you build your skills step by step. Why fairy tales and fiction are powerful learning tools. One common concern I hear from students is, "But I need to learn business English or academic vocabulary. How can reading fairy tales help me?" It's a valid question, but the truth is that reading fiction, including fairy tales, can be incredibly beneficial, even for those who want to focus on specialized vocabulary. In a study conducted by McQuillan, researchers examined the vocabulary found in 22 novels and discovered that 85% of the words were from academic word lists. That means the words you need to succeed in business, university, or other academic fields can be found in fiction, not just in textbooks. Another study by Rolls and Rogers looked at students who read 1 million words of science fiction. They found that the students learned many of the important technical terms required for studying science at the university level. So, while it may seem counterintuitive, reading fairy tales and fiction is actually a fantastic way to improve your English, even if your goals are more academic or professional. My personal experience, learning Spanish through reading. If you're still skeptical, I completely understand. I was too when I first heard about the power of reading for language learning. But as someone who loves learning languages, I decided to test this theory for myself. In 2017, I set a goal for myself. I was going to learn Spanish by reading 1 million words. That's roughly the equivalent of reading 20 novels, so it was no small task. I started with simple, easy-to-read materials like beginner podcasts with transcripts. Then I moved on to reading books I already knew in English, like Harry Potter and Game of Thrones. Finally, I tackled completely new books in Spanish, written by Latin American authors like Isabel Allende and Jorge Luis Borges. After a year of consistent reading, I tested myself by writing and speaking with native Spanish speakers. To my surprise, I had reached an intermediate level of fluency. I could understand almost everything I read, have conversations in Spanish, and understand people speaking clearly. And most of my learning had come from reading, not from speaking. In just 1 year, I had learned more than many students do in 5 years of traditional classes. Finding your reading niche. The secret to success. When it comes to reading in English, the secret to success is finding your reading niche. This is the type of content that really grabs your interest and keeps you coming back for more. Maybe it's detective stories, romance novels, science fiction, or news articles about technology. It doesn't matter what you read, as long as it's something that excites you. In fact, one of my students made incredible progress simply by reading about football. He wasn't interested in classic novels or textbooks, but he loved reading about his favorite sport. He started by reading short articles online, and eventually, he moved on to longer, more complex content like biographies of famous footballers and sports analysis. By immersing himself in something he was passionate about, he not only improved his reading skills, but also expanded his vocabulary and learned how to express his opinions clearly. So don't worry if you're not interested in what you think you should be reading. Instead, find what excites you and focus on that. You'll be amazed at how much faster you improve when you're genuinely enjoying the process. How to read actively and learn effectively. Before we wrap up, let's quickly talk about active reading. When you read actively, you're not just skimming over the text and hoping to understand it. You're engaging with the content and using strategies to help you learn. Here are some tips for reading actively. Highlight new words as you read. Highlight or underline any new words you come across. You don't need to stop and look them up right away. Instead, try to guess the meaning from context and only check the dictionary if you're still unsure later. Summarize. After each chapter or section, try to summarize what you've read in your own words. This helps reinforce what you've learned and gives you practice using new vocabulary and grammar structures. Ask questions. Don't just passively read the text. Ask yourself questions as you go. Why did the character do that? What will happen next? What does this word mean? This keeps your brain engaged and helps you stay focused. Reread. Don't be afraid to go back and reread something you didn't fully understand the first time. Each time you read, you'll notice new details and deepen your comprehension. By incorporating these techniques into your reading practice, you'll maximize the benefits and make faster progress. Final thoughts. The road to English fluency. So now you know why reading is so powerful for learning English and how it can transform your language skills in ways you might not have expected. Whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced learner, reading can help you improve in areas that traditional methods just can't reach. If you've struggled with reading in the past, I encourage you to give it another try. Start with something easy, something that interests you, and work your way up. Don't be discouraged if you don't understand everything right away. With consistent practice, you'll see improvement. And remember, the more you read, the more you learn, the better your English becomes. So pick up a book, open an article, or dive into a short story today. Your journey to English fluency is waiting, and it starts with the turn of a page. Hello, my dear students. Today, I want to share something truly special with you. Learning a new language like English is an amazing journey. Exciting, challenging, and full of opportunities. But I know it's not always easy. There are days when you feel stuck, tired, or even ready to give up. I've been there too, and I want you to remember this. Every step you take, no matter how small, is progress. Success isn't about never falling. It's about getting back up every time you do. In this lesson, I want to inspire you with a story. My story. It's about challenges, dreams, failures, and victories. It's about how I found my path and why I believe you can achieve your goals too. So let's begin this journey, my dream, together. Are you ready? My dream. When I was a child, I had a big dream. I wanted to communicate with the world. I was born in Hong Kong, a city full of diversity and culture. Every day, I heard different languages, and I wondered what it would be like to talk to anyone, no matter where they came from. That dream of connection stayed with me. Learning English was the first step, but it wasn't easy. There were times when I felt like I would never succeed. The words sounded strange, the sentences didn't make sense, and every mistake made me doubt myself. But deep inside, something told me, keep going. Your dream is worth it. Today, after years of effort, I can say that my dream came true. Now, I want to share my experience with you and help you achieve your own dreams. Because if I could do it, you could too. My failure lessons. When I started learning English, I thought it would be simple, but soon I realized how hard it was. I made a lot of mistakes. Sometimes I couldn't understand people, and other times they couldn't understand me. It was frustrating. One time, I tried to order food in English, and I said the wrong word. The waiter looked confused, and I felt embarrassed. But you know what? That mistake taught me something important. It's okay to fail. Every failure became a lesson. I learned to laugh at my mistakes and not give up. If I didn't know a word, I would write it down and practice it later. If I couldn't say a sentence, I would repeat it again and again until I got it right. Failure is not the end. It's part of the process. Each mistake helped me grow and made me stronger. And now, I want you to remember this. Don't be afraid of failing. Every mistake you make is one step closer to success. A new beginning. There was a moment in my life when I decided to stop being afraid and start again. Learning English wasn't just about grammar or vocabulary. It was about opening new doors and creating opportunities. One day I told myself, this is it. From now on, I'll work harder, focus more, and believe in myself. That was the beginning of something amazing. I changed the way I learned. I started watching movies in English, listening to songs, and talking to people whenever I could. At first, it was scary. I made mistakes, and sometimes I felt like giving up. But every small step forward gave me confidence. A new beginning is not always easy, but it's worth it. If you're learning English, remember, every day is a chance to start fresh. Don't look back. Focus on what's ahead. Your new beginning could change your life. Language learning methods. Learning a new language can feel difficult at first, but with the right methods, it becomes fun and rewarding. Here are some of the best ways to improve your English. 1. Listen to English every day. Watch movies, listen to songs, or enjoy podcasts in English. Even if you don't understand everything, your brain gets used to the sounds and rhythm of the language. 2. Practice speaking. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. They are part of learning. Talk to friends, join English speaking groups, or even speak to yourself at home. 3. Read and write in English. Read books, news articles, or even Instagram captions in English. Keep a journal and write a few sentences every day. 4. Use apps and tools. Apps like Duolingo, memorize, or babble. Make learning fun and interactive. Flashcards can help you remember vocabulary. 5. Immerse yourself in the language. Label items in your home with their names in English. Try to think in English throughout your day. 6. Be consistent. Study a little every day, even if it's only 10 minutes. Regular practice makes a big difference. 7. Stay positive. Celebrate small successes, like understanding a sentence or learning a new word. Believe in yourself and enjoy the process. Remember, learning English is a journey. With these methods, you will improve step by step. Keep going, and soon you'll see amazing progress. Final advice. Learning English is not about being perfect. It's about communicating and growing every day. Here's my final advice to help you succeed. 1. Be patient with yourself. Learning a language takes time. Don't rush or compare yourself to others. Everyone has their own pace. 2. Make it part of your life. Incorporate English into your daily routine. Listen to music while cooking, read the news in English, or write your grocery list in English. 3. Focus on progress, not perfection. Every word you learn is progress. Keep moving forward, and you'll see the results. 4. You learn. Every sentence you say is a step forward. Mistakes are proof that you're trying. 5. 4. Stay curious. Ask questions. If you don't know a word or phrase, look it up or ask someone. Curiosity makes learning exciting. 6. 5. Never stop learning. Even advanced speakers keep improving. English is a language with endless opportunities to express. 7. Lastly, remember this. The key to success is consistency and a positive attitude. Believe in your ability and don't give up. You're closer to fluency than you think. Keep going. Your future self will thank you. 8. Thank you for joining me on this journey to learn English. Remember, every small step brings you closer to your goal. I believe in you, and I know you can do it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of our lessons. Let's keep learning together and achieving great things. See you in the next video. Take care and happy learning. 9. Hello everyone. Welcome to our channel. Today's topic is one of the most important steps in learning English. Thinking in English. When you learn to think in English, you will speak faster, understand better, and feel more confident. It might sound difficult, but don't worry. I will show you simple steps to help you start thinking in English. By the end of this video, you'll have everything you need to begin this journey. Let's get started. 10. Why should you think in English? Many people will translate English into their native language in their heads. This takes time, and sometimes the sentences come out wrong. For example, if your first language is Spanish and you want to say tengo hambre, you might think of the words I have hunger. Well, that's understandable. The correct way to say it in English is I'm hungry. Thinking in English helps you avoid these mistakes. It also saves time because you don't have to translate everything. Plus, it makes you feel more comfortable when speaking because you don't have to stop and think about every word. 11th. Step 1. Start with simple vocabulary. The first step to thinking in English is learning simple words. Look around you right now. What do you see? Maybe a table, a chair, a phone, or a book. Start naming these things in English in your mind. For example, table, chair, phone, book. If you don't know the word for something, check a dictionary or use a translation app. Write it down and practice saying it in your mind. Step 2. Think about actions. Now that you know some words, try to think about actions. What are you doing right now? Maybe you're sitting, watching, or listening. Say these actions in your mind in English. I am sitting. I'm watching a video. I'm learning English. You can do this for anything you do during the day. For example, when you wake up, think, I am waking up. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm having breakfast. This helps you connect actions with words and think in English without translating. Step 3. Describe your environment. Take a moment to look around you. What do you see? Describe it in English, in your mind. For example, the walls are white. There is a lamp on the table. The room is very quiet. This step improves your vocabulary and makes your thinking more natural. If you don't know how to describe something, look it up and practice. Step 4. Talk to yourself in English. Talking to yourself might feel strange at first, but it's a great way to practice thinking in English. You don't need to speak loudly. Just say things in your mind. For example, what should I eat for lunch today? I think I'll have a sandwich. I need to go to the store later. Asking yourself questions and answering them in English is a fun and easy way to improve. Step 5. Imagine conversations. Imagining conversations is one of the best ways to train your brain to think in English. It's like creating a mental rehearsal for real-life situations. The idea is to simulate interactions that you might experience, so you feel more confident and prepared when they happen in reality. 16. Why should you imagine conversations? It prepares you for real-life scenarios. When you imagine conversations, you practice the language you'll actually use. For example, if you often go shopping, imagine phrases like, how much does this cost? Or, where can I find the bread section? This makes it easier to speak when you're in a store. It trains your brain to think in English. Your brain starts to associate certain situations with English. For example, if you often imagine ordering food in a restaurant, you'll naturally think in English the next time you're dining out. It reduces anxiety. By practicing in your mind, you'll feel less nervous in real-life conversations. You'll already know what to say and how to say it. How to imagine conversations. Start with simple situations. Think about your daily activities. Imagine how a conversation might happen in these scenarios. At a grocery store. Excuse me, where can I find the milk? Do you have any discounts today? At a coffee shop. Can I have a cappuccino, please? Is there a seat available near the window? On the phone. Hello, can I speak to Mr. Smith? Add more details over time. Once you're comfortable with basic conversations, make them more complex. Imagine responses from the other person and how you would reply. For example, I have a cappuccino, please. Cashier: Sure, would you like it hot or iced? You: Hot, please, and can you add extra foam? Practice specific vocabulary. If you're preparing for a specific situation, focus on learning the relevant vocabulary. For example, if you're traveling, imagine conversations at the airport. Where is the check-in counter for this airline? What time does the flight to London depart? Imagine emotional conversations. Think about how you might express feelings in English. For example, telling a friend about your day. I had a great day. I visited the park and saw a beautiful sunset. Complimenting someone. You did a great job with this project. Make it a habit. Incorporate it into your daily routine. While walking, cooking, or cleaning, take a moment to imagine conversations. Think about what you would say if someone asked, "What are you doing right now?" Use visual cues. Look around you for inspiration. If you see a book, imagine asking someone, "Have you read this book? Is it good?" Practice with real situations. After imagining a conversation, try it out in real life. If you're at a store, say what you practiced. Do you have this in a different color? For example, imagine you're meeting a friend for the first time. You: Hi, nice to meet you. How are you? Friend: I'm good, thanks, and you? You: I'm doing well. What do you like to do for fun? Friend: I love hiking. How about you? You: I enjoy cooking. Maybe I can cook something for you one day. Practicing this helps you build confidence and improves your ability to respond naturally in English. Why does this work? Imagining conversations is powerful because it combines creativity with language practice. It keeps your mind active in English and helps you feel ready for real interactions. Even if you don't have anyone to practice with, this technique ensures you're still improving every day. So start imagining conversations today and enjoy the process. Step 6. Use English every day. To think in English, you need to use it every day. Change the language on your phone or computer to English. Watch English videos or listen to English music. Try to read English books, even if they are for beginners. For example, if you're on social media, try reading English captions. If you watch a video, think about what the people are saying. The more you see and hear English, the easier it will be to think in English. Step 7. Be patient. Learning to think in English is a process, and like any skill, it takes time. At first, you might find it slow or even frustrating. You may struggle to find the right words or feel like your thoughts are scattered, but this is completely normal. Don't be discouraged. Every learner goes through this stage, and with practice, you'll improve. Why does it feel difficult at first? Your brain is used to thinking in your native language. When you start thinking in English, you are essentially training your brain to work in a new way. It's like learning to ride a bicycle. At first, you may fall or lose balance, but with time, you gain confidence and move faster. How to be patient with yourself. Focus on progress, not perfection. It's important to celebrate small victories. Did you manage to think in English for 5 minutes today? That's progress. Did you learn a new word and use it in your thoughts? Amazing. Understand that mistakes are learning opportunities. Making mistakes is not a sign of failure. It's a sign of effort. When you notice a mistake, don't feel bad. Instead, think, I learned something new. For example, if you think, I go to the park instead of I went to the park, it's an opportunity to correct yourself and remember for next time. Keep practicing daily. Just like building muscles in the gym, thinking in English strengthens your brain's ability to process the language. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. Celebrate your achievements sometime. It's easy to focus on what you can't do yet, but don't forget to appreciate how far you've come. Maybe a month ago, you couldn't form a full sentence in English in your mind, and now you can. Maybe today you thought in English without even realizing it. Encouragement. Your journey matters. Think about this. Every time you practice thinking in English, you're one step closer to fluency. It doesn't matter if the step feels small. What matters is that you are moving forward. Takeaway: be kind to yourself and enjoy the process. Thinking in English is not a race, it's a journey. With time, patience, and practice, you'll get there. And when you look back, you'll be proud of how much you've grown. Keep going and remember, you're doing great. Extra tips for thinking in English. 1. Keep a diary in English. Write about your day in a notebook or on your phone. For example, today I went to the park. The weather was sunny. I saw a dog playing with a ball. This helps you practice vocabulary and grammar while thinking in English. 2. Use flashcards. Make flashcards with English words and pictures. Look at the pictures and think of the words in English. 3. Practice with friends. If you have a friend who is learning English, practice together. Talk about your day, ask questions, and help each other think in English. Conclusion. Learning to think in English is a powerful skill. Start small, practice every day, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. The more you practice, the easier it will become. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to our channel and like this video. Share it with your friends who want to learn English. Why is learning English so important? Whether you are a student, a professional, or just someone curious about languages, English can open many doors in your life. By the end of this video, you will know why English is more than just a language. It's a global key to opportunities. Let's get started. English is a global language. English is one of the most widely spoken languages in the world. It's the official language in over 70 countries, including major nations like the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, and South Africa. Additionally, it is often used as a second language in many countries where it is not official, such as India, Germany, and Japan. Why is this important? Because English acts as a bridge. People from different countries and cultures use it to communicate when they don't share a native language. For example, a Brazilian and a Korean meeting at an international conference will likely speak to each other in English. Imagine traveling to a place where you don't speak the local language, such as Japan, Italy, or Turkey. You may not know Japanese, Italian, or Turkish, but English is often the common language in tourist areas, airports, hotels, and restaurants. Here are a few examples. Asking for directions. How do I get to the train station? Ordering food. Can I have a coffee, please? Booking a room. Do you have a single room available? English is also the official language of many global organizations. English is the official language of many global organizations, such as the United Nations, the European Union, and the International Olympic Committee. This means that when important decisions are made or global events are organized, English is the primary language used. Moreover, English is often referred to as the language of business. International companies and industries rely on it for communication between teams in different countries. From emails and reports to meetings and presentations, English is the common ground that connects professionals worldwide. English is important for education. If you dream of studying abroad at prestigious universities like Oxford, Harvard, or Cambridge, knowing English is not just helpful, it's essential. These institutions, along with many others around the globe, conduct their courses and lectures in English. Without a good understanding of the language, it would be difficult to keep up with lessons, complete assignments, or participate in discussions. Access to top universities. Many of the world's most renowned universities are in English-speaking countries, such as the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia. For example, Oxford University in the UK is famous for its centuries of academic excellence. Harvard University in the US offers world-class programs in almost every field. Cambridge University is another iconic institution where English is the medium of instruction. These universities often require students to pass English proficiency tests, such as IELTS or TOEFL, to demonstrate their ability to study in English. Without knowledge of the language, it's easy to focus on what you can't do yet, but don't forget to appreciate how far you've come. Maybe a month ago you couldn't form a full sentence in English in your mind, and now you can. Maybe today you thought in English without even realizing it. Encouragement. Your journey matters. Think about this. Every time you practice thinking in English, you're one step closer to fluency. It doesn't matter if the step feels small. What matters is that you are moving forward. Takeaway. Be kind to yourself and enjoy the process. Thinking in English is not a race. It's a journey. With time, patience, and practice, you'll get there. And when you look back, you'll be proud of how much you've grown. Keep going and remember, you're doing great. Extra tips for thinking in English. 1. Keep a diary in English. Write about your day in a notebook or on your phone. For example, today I went to the park. The weather was sunny. I saw a dog playing with a ball. This helps you practice vocabulary and grammar while thinking in English. 2. Use flashcards. Make flashcards with English words and pictures. Look at the pictures and think of the words in English. 3. Practice with friends. If you have a friend who is learning English, practice together. Talk about your day, ask questions, and help each other think in English. Conclusion. Learning to think in English is a powerful skill. Start small, practice every day, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. The more you practice, the easier it will become. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to our channel and like this video. Share it with your friends who want to learn English. Why is learning English so important? Whether you are a student, a professional, or just someone curious about languages, English can open many doors in your life. By the end of this video, you will know why English is more than just a language. It's a global key to opportunities. Let's get started. English is a global language. English is one of the most widely spoken languages in the world. It's the official language in over 70 countries, including major nations like the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, and South Africa. Additionally, it is often used as a second language in many countries where it is not official, such as India, Germany, and Japan. Why is this important? Because English acts as a bridge. People from different countries and cultures use it to communicate when they don't share a native language. For example, a Brazilian and a Korean meeting at an international conference will likely speak to each other in English. Imagine traveling to a place where you don't speak the local language, such as Japan, Italy, or Turkey. You may not know Japanese, Italian, or Turkish, but English is often the common language in tourist areas, airports, hotels, and restaurants. Here are a few examples. Asking for directions. How do I get to the train station? Ordering food. Can I have a coffee, please? Booking a room. Do you have a single room available? English is also the official language of many global organizations. English is the official language of many global organizations, such as the United Nations, the European Union, and the International Olympic Committee. This means that when important decisions are made or global events are organized, English is the primary language used. Moreover, English is often referred to as the language of business. International companies and industries rely on it for communication between teams in different countries. From emails and reports to meetings and presentations, English is the common ground that connects professionals worldwide. English is important for education. If you dream of studying abroad at prestigious universities like Oxford, Harvard, or Cambridge, knowing English is not just helpful, it's essential. These institutions, along with many others around the globe, conduct their courses and lectures in English. Without a good understanding of the language, it would be difficult to keep up with lessons, complete assignments, or participate in discussions. Access to top universities. Many of the world's most renowned universities are in English-speaking countries, such as the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia. For example, Oxford University in the UK is famous for its centuries of academic excellence. Harvard University in the U.S. offers world-class programs in almost every field. Cambridge University is another iconic institution where English is the medium of instruction. These universities often require students to pass English proficiency tests, such as IELTS or TOEFL, to demonstrate their ability to study in English. Without knowledge of the language, these opportunities may be out of reach without global knowledge and resources. Even if you're not studying abroad, English is still key to accessing some of the best educational materials. Many groundbreaking research papers, scientific studies, and academic books are written in English. For instance, scientists and researchers often publish their findings in English to reach a global audience. Classic literature, modern novels, and influential essays are frequently available only in English or are best understood in their original language. For students studying in their home country, textbooks and subjects like science, mathematics, and business often include English terms or are written entirely in English. Universities also provide online courses and recorded lectures from top professors worldwide, most of which are in English. Online education. The rise of online education platforms like Coursera, edX, and Khan Academy has made it easier for people to learn from the best institutions without leaving their homes. However, most of the courses on these platforms are in English. For example, you could learn computer programming, data science, or marketing from experts, but a solid grasp of English is necessary to understand and follow the lessons. Opportunities for specialization. English also opens doors to advanced degrees and specialized fields. For example, in medicine and healthcare, many medical journals and case studies are in English. In engineering and technology, software documentation and programming languages are primarily in English. In business and management, the latest theories and practices often originate from English-speaking countries. A universal skill for students. Conclusion. Even at a basic level, students benefit from learning English to understand terms and concepts that are used internationally, e.g., photosynthesis or economics, write emails or reports for assignments, and participate in group discussions with peers from different backgrounds. In conclusion, English is a key that unlocks countless educational opportunities. It gives students access to the best universities, the latest research, and the ability to compete in a globalized academic world. Whether you plan to study abroad or excel in your home country, English is an invaluable tool for learning and success. English helps you get a better job in today's global job market. English is one of the most valuable skills you can have. Many companies, whether local or international, actively seek employees who can communicate in English. This is because English is the universal language of business, connecting people from different countries and cultures. Regardless of your profession, having a good command of English can set you apart from other candidates and open doors to better job opportunities. Why do companies value English? In many industries, being able to speak English is no longer just a bonus. It's a requirement. For instance, international companies like Google, Amazon, and Microsoft operate across multiple countries, and English is the common language for meetings, emails, and presentations. Employees need English to collaborate with colleagues worldwide. In tourism and hospitality, if you work as a hotel manager, tour guide, or flight attendant, English is essential for communicating with international guests. In medicine and healthcare, doctors, nurses, and researchers often need English to read medical journals or attend international conferences. In engineering and IT in technical fields, English is the standard for software development, project management, and technical documentation. Employers know that workers who speak English can handle international clients or business partners, understand global trends and developments, and represent the company more effectively on a global stage. Even in jobs that don't seem connected to English, the language can play a crucial role. For example, in customer service roles in retail or call centers, employees who speak English can assist customers from different countries, increasing customer satisfaction. In sales and marketing, knowing English helps you reach a broader audience and negotiate deals with international buyers. In education, teachers who speak English can teach the language or use it to access global teaching resources. In many countries, employees who speak English often earn higher salaries than those who don't. Real-world example. Imagine two job candidates applying for a sales manager position. Candidate A speaks only the local language. Candidate B speaks the local language and English. The employer is more likely to choose candidate B because they can communicate with both local and international clients. Jobs where English is a must. Here are some careers where English is especially important. Tour guide, explaining local history and culture to tourists from around the world. Flight attendant, assisting passengers and ensuring safety on international flights. Software engineer, writing code and collaborating with a global team. Journalist, reporting on international news or interviewing people from other countries. Entrepreneur, running a business with international clients or suppliers. English for career growth. Knowing English isn't just about getting a job, it's about growing in your career. Employees who can speak English are more likely to get promotions to higher positions, be sent on international business trips, and be given important projects that involve global partners. For example, if your company wants to expand to another country, you might be chosen to manage the project because you can communicate effectively in English. How to use English at work. If you already have a job, you can use English too. Writing professional emails, joining online courses or training programs to improve your skills, watching webinars or conferences to learn from global experts, and networking with professionals from different countries are all ways to incorporate English in the workplace. In today's world, knowing English is one of the best ways to boost your career. It gives you access to better jobs, higher salaries, and more opportunities for growth. Whether you're a doctor, engineer, or teacher, English is the key to standing out in the job market. Start improving your English today to take the first step toward a brighter future. English is everywhere on the internet. The internet is a global resource connecting billions of people, and English is its dominant language. In fact, over half of the websites you visit are written in English. From social media posts to online courses, English plays a central role in how we share and consume information online. If you know English, you unlock access to a vast amount of content and opportunities that can help you learn, grow, and stay informed. Why English is the language of the internet. English is used on major platforms, websites, and apps because it's widely understood across the world. Whether you're reading a blog, watching a YouTube video, or scrolling through Instagram, there's a good chance the content is in English. For example, news websites and leading platforms like BBC, CNN, and the New York Times provide updates on global events in English. Social media apps like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram prioritize English for captions, hashtags, and trends. Educational platforms like Coursera, Khan Academy, and edX offer courses from top universities in English. Being able to understand English lets you participate in global conversations and learn directly from the world's top resources. English for learning and entertainment. Knowing English gives you access to countless online materials for both fun and education. Videos you can watch, tutorials, documentaries, and movies on YouTube, Netflix, or other platforms. Many of these videos are in English or have English subtitles, which can help you improve your language skills while enjoying yourself. Podcasts. Listen to experts discuss topics like science, history, or lifestyle, all in English. Courses and tutorials. Platforms like Udemy and Skillshare offer lessons on everything from cooking to coding in English. Many are free or very affordable. For example, if you want to learn how to bake a cake, search for a tutorial on YouTube in English. You'll find step-by-step instructions, new vocabulary, and the chance to improve your listening skills. Access to global communities. The Internet connects people from around the world, and English is the bridge. Many online communities, forums, and discussion groups use English as their main language. Gaming communities. If you play online games, knowing English helps you communicate with teammates and enjoy the experience more. Hobby groups. Whether you love photography, gardening, or fitness, you'll find English-speaking groups on platforms like Reddit or Facebook. Professional networking. Sites like LinkedIn help you connect with professionals worldwide, and most of the profiles and posts are in English. Stay updated with global trends. English allows you to stay informed about the latest global news and trends. Technology. Learn about new gadgets, apps, and software updates directly from as most tech companies release information in English. Health and science discover new studies or health advice on sites like WebMD or National Geographic. Pop culture. Follow international celebrities, watch the latest Hollywood movies, or enjoy English songs from artists like Taylor Swift or Ed Sheeran. Free resources for learning. The Internet is full of free English resources to help you grow. Online dictionaries. Use websites like Cambridge Dictio. Dictionary to check meanings and pronunciations. Language apps. Apps like Duolingo and Memrise are available for free to help you practice English. Webinars. Attend free live classes or recorded sessions from experts in any field. English for career and personal growth. Understanding. English helps you gain skills that can improve your job prospects and personal development. For example, learn programming languages like Python or Java through English tutorials. Access motivational videos or business advice from global leaders, and enhance your resume by taking free certifications in English from platforms like Google or Microsoft. Real-world example. Imagine you want to learn about climate change. If you only understand your native language, your options might be limited to local websites or translations. But if you know English, you can explore global sources like NASA's website, research papers, or TED Talks from experts worldwide. How to use the Internet to practice English. If you already know some English, you can use the Internet to practice every day. Change your settings. Switch the language on your phone, apps, and social media accounts to English. Follow English pages. Subscribe to channels or pages that share content in English, such as recipe videos, travel blogs, or fitness tips. Join English forums. Participate in discussions on platforms like Quora or Reddit to practice reading and writing. The internet is a powerful tool, and English is the key to unlocking its full potential. From learning new skills to staying informed, knowing English helps you make the most of the online world. Start using English on the internet today, and you'll discover endless opportunities to grow and succeed. Why English is the travel language. English makes travel easier. Traveling to new places is exciting, but it can also be challenging if you don't speak the local language. That's where English comes to the rescue. Known as the global language, English is widely used in the travel industry, making it your best companion when exploring the world. From airports to hotels and restaurants, English bridges the communication gap and helps you navigate unfamiliar places with confidence. Why English is the travel language. English is the default language in many international locations. Even in countries where English isn't the first language, people working in tourism, such as hotel staff, airport workers, and taxi drivers, often speak basic English. This means you can use it to ask questions, understand directions, and solve problems during your trip. For example, at the airport, most signs, announcements, and boarding passes are in English, making it easier to find your gate or understand security instructions. In hotels, staff often communicate with guests in English, whether you're checking in, asking for room service, or requesting extra towels. In restaurants, menus frequently include English translations, especially in tourist areas, so you can choose your meals without confusion. Everyday scenarios where English helps when you travel. Many situations require communication, and knowing English ensures you can handle them easily. Here are some examples. At the airport, asking for directions. Excuse me, where is gate 25? Or clarifying flight information. Is my flight on time? At a hotel, requesting amenities. Can I have extra pillows? Or asking for information. What time is breakfast served? In a restaurant, ordering food. I'll have the grilled chicken, please. Or checking dietary options. Do you have vegetarian dishes? In a taxi, giving directions. Can you take me to the train station? Or confirming the fare. How much will this cost? These simple phrases in English can turn stressful situations into smooth experiences. Reading signs and maps. Most public places around the world use English for important signs and directions. At airports, you'll see signs like baggage claim or exit in English. On streets, you'll find English labels for landmarks, bus stops, and metro stations. Even maps often include English translations for tourist attractions, helping you navigate with ease. This removes a layer of complexity for new learners. No complex cases. Unlike Russian or German, English does not have cases, nominative, accusative, dative, etc., that require changing the form of a word based on its role in a sentence. This makes constructing sentences simpler for beginners. Short and easy words. Many common English words are short and easy to pronounce. These simple words help beginners start communicating quickly without feeling overwhelmed. For example, animals, cat, dog, fish, bird, sizes, big, small, tall, short. Basic actions: run, walk, eat, sleep. You can form simple sentences using these words right away, such as, I have a dog, the cat is small, or I want to eat. Additionally, many words in English are similar to words in other languages, especially if those languages are part of the Indo-European family. For example, family in English resembles familia in Spanish or famille in French. These similarities can make vocabulary easier to learn. Resources everywhere. Another reason English is easy to start learning is the abundance of resources available. Whether you prefer books, apps, videos, or games, there's something for every learning style. Apps and games. Apps like Duolingo, Babbel, and Memrise are designed to teach English step by step. They start with the basics, like introducing common words and phrases, and use games to make learning fun. Videos and podcasts. There are thousands of free videos and podcasts aimed at teaching English. Channels on YouTube, for instance, offer beginner lessons on pronunciation, vocabulary, and grammar. Books and online courses. From beginner-level storybooks to structured online courses, you'll find endless options for learning English. Many of these materials focus on foundational skills like forming sentences and asking questions so you can start using English right away. English is everywhere. Even if you are not actively studying, you are probably exposed to English in your daily life. Music. Many popular songs are in English. Listening to them can introduce you to new words and phrases. Movies and TV shows, subtitled shows can help you connect spoken English with its meaning. Products and technology. Instructions and interfaces for many devices, apps, and websites are written in English. This constant exposure helps you pick up basic English naturally. Progress comes quickly. When you start learning English, you can see progress in a short time. With just a few words and phrases, you can already communicate basic ideas. For example, greeting someone. Hello, how are you? Introducing yourself. My name is Anna. I am from Brazil. Asking simple questions. Where is the bus station? This quick progress motivates learners to keep going. You don't need years of study to say something meaningful in English. Step-by-step learning. Because English is relatively simple to start, you can break your learning into small, manageable steps. Start with basics. Learn numbers, colors, and common objects. Practice greetings. Learn how to say hello, goodbye, and introduce yourself. Form simple sentences. Combine the words you know to express basic ideas like, I like coffee. Expand vocabulary. Gradually add new words for everyday use, like food, clothes, and places. Each small success builds your confidence and makes learning enjoyable. Confidence without overwhelm. Unlike some languages, English doesn't demand perfection from the start. Even with basic grammar and vocabulary, you can communicate effectively. For example, if you say, I go to store, people will still understand you, even though the correct sentence is, I am going to the store. This flexibility allows you to focus on learning without worrying too much about making mistakes. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel. English is a beginner-friendly language with simple grammar, short words, and plenty of learning resources. Its global presence ensures you're exposed to it almost everywhere, making it easier to start and keep improving. By learning step by step and celebrating small wins, you'll find that English is not just easy to begin, but also fun to master. Now you know that learning English is so important. It connects the world, helps with education, improves job opportunities, and makes life easier when you travel. It also gives you access to the internet and new cultures. If this video helped you understand the value of English, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel for more tips and lessons. Now, we're diving into something essential. How to speak English better than ever before. Have you ever felt like no matter how much you study, speaking English still feels challenging? You're not alone. Many learners feel the same way. But here's the great news. You can improve, and it doesn't have to take years. With the right techniques, you can start speaking more confidently right now. Chapter 1. The start of your journey. What makes fluent speakers different? Surprisingly, it's not that they know every word or never make mistakes. In fact, fluent speakers make mistakes all the time. What truly sets them apart is their confidence, the ability to keep communicating even when they stumble or forget a word. The role of confidence in fluency. Confidence is the engine that drives fluency. Fluent speakers trust themselves to convey their message, even when their vocabulary is limited or their grammar is imperfect. They don't let small errors stop them. Instead, they focus on the flow of conversation, ensuring their message gets across. Think of it like this. Confidence acts as a bridge between what you know and what you're able to express. Without confidence, even the most extensive vocabulary can feel out of reach. A real-life example. Imagine this. You're at a cafe and someone starts a conversation in English. If you feel confident, you'll likely smile, respond naturally, and keep the conversation going, even if you don't know every word. On the other hand, without confidence, you might freeze or avoid speaking altogether, missing a chance to practice. The good news: confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build through practice and small successes. The goal: flowing conversations. Picture this. You're having a conversation, and the words just flow. You're not stopping to think about grammar rules or searching your brain for the right word. You're simply speaking, and it feels effortless. This is the level of fluency most learners dream of, and it's 100% achievable. But how do you get there? It's not about memorizing thousands of words or spending hours a day on grammar drills. The secret lies in small, focused adjustments to how you practice. The power of small changes. Big improvements don't require dramatic changes. You don't need to transform your entire study routine or cram hundreds of new words. Instead, focus on strategies that make speaking easier and more natural. Practice speaking daily, even if it's just for a few minutes. Start conversations with simple phrases and build from there. Use techniques like shadowing to train your brain to think in English. The first step on your journey to fluency is building confidence. Once you believe in your ability to communicate, every other skill, listening, vocabulary, grammar, will improve faster and feel easier. Confidence is the foundation, and from here, we'll explore the techniques to help you strengthen it and achieve your goals. Let's take the next step together. Chapter 2: The Power of Active Listening. If you want to speak English fluently, the first step isn't speaking, it's listening. Good listening skills lay the foundation for fluent speech. Why? Because when you listen carefully, you learn how sentences are structured, how words are pronounced, and how ideas are connected naturally by native speakers. Why listening matters. Think of listening as your guide. It's like watching a chef cook before trying to replicate a recipe yourself. You're not just hearing sounds, you're observing how words fit together, how intonation rises and falls, and how certain expressions are used in real-life situations. This is what sets active listening apart from simply hearing words. What is active listening? Active listening means fully focusing on what you hear, breaking it down, and learning from it. It's about going beyond the surface and noticing the small details that make a conversation flow naturally. For example, compare passive listening, hearing English in the background without paying attention, to active listening, which involves concentrating on the speaker's pronunciation, sentence patterns, and word usage. When you practice active listening, you train your brain to recognize and remember the rhythms and patterns of English over time. This makes speaking feel more natural and less intimidating. The shadowing technique, your secret weapon. One of the best ways to practice active listening is through shadowing. This technique helps you improve your listening and speaking skills at the same time. Think of it as imitating a native speaker to match their flow and confidence. Here's how to do it. 1. Choose a short podcast or video. Pick something interesting but not too difficult. You can find great examples on YouTube or in language learning apps. 2. Listen carefully. Focus on one sentence or phrase at a time. Pay attention to the speaker's tone, speed, and rhythm. 3. Pause and repeat. After hearing the sentence, pause the audio and try to say it exactly as the speaker did. Match their tone and pronunciation as closely as possible. Why does shadowing work? Shadowing is powerful because it combines listening with immediate practice. You're not just absorbing the language, you're actively using it. This builds muscle memory for speaking and helps you internalize correct pronunciation and sentence flow. Think of shadowing as a workout for your mouth and brain. Just like a runner trains their muscles to move efficiently, shadowing trains your tongue, lips, and brain to produce English effortlessly. Real-life benefits of active listening. Active listening doesn't just improve your language skills, it also boosts your confidence in real-life conversations. For instance, when someone speaks to you, you'll understand them better because you've trained your ears to pick up on nuances. You'll respond faster because your brain is familiar with common phrases and sentence structures. Over time, you'll notice your pronunciation and fluency improving without even realizing it. Start small, grow big. If shadowing feels challenging at first, don't worry. Start with just a few sentences a day. As you get more comfortable, increase the time you spend listening and repeating. Consistency is key, and even 10 minutes a day can make a big difference. Remember, listening is not just a passive skill, it's an active part of becoming fluent. The more you train your ears, the easier it will be for your mouth to follow. Thanks for watching.